Alright, what I got here is a Virago 250. It's an 89 model. I've had it for a couple of years and I'm in the process of pulling it apart. I'm going to mod it up to make it into kind of a cafe, streetfighter, rat type of look. Trying to work less on the rat appeal because at the moment it's pretty shabby. I want to turn it into something decent. So far what I've done is I normally don't run with a rear seat on there, so I've pulled off the seat, I've taken out the battery. The batteries over there in the corner, just by the charge. So I've pulled all that out. So my botch job on the, that's how I keep the fuse from going shorting on stuff. It's too long for the original case, which has been annoying, so I had to kind of make one up. It works. I put LEDs on here, but they're pretty cheap, crappy ones I got off eBay. I'd suggest to people to avoid buying them because they burn out really quickly. Half the LEDs don't work anymore on them, and the load wasn't right for my for the flasher relay, which I put a LED one on there and that didn't work either. So in the end I had to buy these little they're just shoved down there somewhere. These kind of resistors, which I also got off eBay. They make them work, but they blink at twice the rate, and yeah, they're not very good. They just burn out too quick, so I'd avoid buying cheap ones off eBay. What else have I got? Some mirrors. The mirrors worked. The old ones have gone rusty and crappy, so I bought these ones. They work. They're blue tinted, but I'm going to get rid of them and put a bar end, kind of cafe racer bar end ones on there now. So that's the idea. What else we got? I want to get rid of the rear fender. I want to use kind of a what are they called? A rear hugger on there, like on sports bikes, but kind of I want to do the bare minimum requirement for the rear fender. I don't really like big fenders, so that's going. It's just going to come off the swing arm here and come around to it's got to be to about 45 degrees, so it'll come on to about here. It has some sort of brace on there. It has the license plate off there and the indicators on the indicators off the side here, and the tail light can come off the seat up here. I'd have like a flat seat coming across and then kind of a small up on the back maybe. I'm thinking more having one of those rear cowls, but I'll see what I can work on that. What do we got up this end? I've got a clip-on bars to put on here. I bought them, but I just don't have them here. They're at my place, so they can go on. Strip all this back, clean it up again. I've got to do something about that rear brake. It's pretty shoddy. At least it works. The rear brake, the front brake works barely. The rear brake doesn't work at all, so that needs work. Some really terrible 20-year-old drum brake on there, so it's all slogged out. So I might need to buy a new hub or look at modding it, put a disc on there. Don't know yet. We'll figure something out. I want resets on here. Resets would be good. So I'm trying to make it more sporty. But yeah, I'll just inform you as I go. The engine's quite old. It's done 76,081, but I've had this bike for 5 years and the odometer doesn't work, so it's probably clocked over a few times by now. But yeah, so one thing I've got to do is get the engine redone, because reboard I should say. It's pretty powerless at the moment. It makes lots of noise, but it's got no go. The pipes, the top pipe is fake. It's just aesthetic, which is a bit stupid. It's not actually connected to anything behind there. The real pipe comes down the back and connects to this reservoir down here. So it makes lots of rumble noise, and that's about all. Both pipes, both mufflers actually work. The top one, I don't know if you can see that at all, is all the baffles have been cut out, so there's no baffle in there. The bottom one's got a baffle, but not the top one. so it makes it even louder. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm onto the just pulling off the rear fender, and basically all that's holding it on, you can't really see it, but there's 4 bolts in there. One if I get in there, one here at the back, another one here, there, and then the same on this side. There's 2 there. So that's the only thing holding the fender on. I've already got those 2 out. I'm just going to start on the other side now. So hopefully that won't take too long. Alright, that only took me a couple of minutes to do. So there we are, the fender's off, it's sitting right there. Yeah, so that wasn't hard. I just needed a 14mm spanner and a 17mm spanner to pull them off. That's what it leaves me with, this kind of a frame. So I intend to build like a little bracket up here and have kind of a raised flat seat with kind of a cowl on it maybe. But yeah, that leaves me with a more exposed rear wheel, which gives me a better look. I want to try and get longer suspension struts on there, just to bring the back end up a bit higher. Maybe even lower the front end down on the fork, like move it down maybe an inch here. The way the tank sits at the moment, I don't know if you can see that, but it kind of slopes. Kind of slopes back, and I want to kind of get that bottom line level with the seat, so kind of a straight line to give it more of a look. A lot of people, what they do is they get rid of the teardrop tank. So I want to try and keep it for as long as I can and see how it looks with the teardrop on there before I go and try and pull a blocky lunchbox tank on there from another bike. I might relocate the keep, having it right there by the engine is a trifle annoying, but you get used to it after a while. I don't know if it will be in the way or not when I get everything done. Yeah, so that's fine. These are the bolts. I just put these are the long bolts. They got here we are. They got kind of a brass washer on there that we built up. Me and my dad when we rebuilt this bike the first time. I've got a picture of it from when I got it, which was red. All those years ago it was actually red, and now look at it. It's been like this for about 2-3 years now. Painted like a rat. It was going rusty, so I had to paint it. But yeah, we put this brass washer on there because these bolts, they look like they've just been cut off at the end here. They might not actually be for this bike, and they didn't fit in here very well. There's a great big hole, recess in there, so that would go in there like that, just to stop the bolt from going all the way through. So it wouldn't do up otherwise. There used to be a pillion backrest on there, which has been pulled off. Yeah. Right, one thing I forgot to mention is the CDI down here. It's actually mounted onto the rear fender there. It's just a bolt there and a clamp at the bottom here, so that comes off easy enough. But I've got to relocate that onto the bike somehow. So it usually is sat when the fender's on. It sits in here. So I've got to find a new mount. That maybe just stick it onto the back of the battery box there for now. That might work. See where I've got the rear hugger is going to somehow come off this support bracket there and come around the tyre. It only has to be as wide as the tyre, so that's something good. And it has to go up to 45 degrees in the road, so it has to come up to about here somewhere. So have something about a centimetre off the tyre all the way along, so just keep it low and low profile. So yeah. Right, the other day before I actually started working on the bike, I actually sprayed the whole bike down with a fly spray, just because it kept getting covered in spider webs and I was just getting annoyed with that. So I went and I sprayed the whole thing, and lo and behold, we've got this great big red back hanging down here. So it's a good thing I did that, because they're quite poisonous, and it's just one of those things that happens when you're in Oz. It splatters all over the show. So yeah. So far I've pulled the rear fender off and the chain guard, the extra exhaust pipe, things like that. So I'll just get in here. I pulled the chain guards off because it was making a fair bit of noise on the as I was going forward, and I think it's to do with this little socket here just being as loose as that. And it's because this little, the lock nut here, the lock washer I should say, is completely chewed out around where the teeth are. It's just chewed out, so might get a new one of those or scrounge one up from somewhere. It's a bit annoying. I don't think it's meant to be that loose. The little rubber thing here is getting chewed out. Alright, I was thinking of using these pegs here as my foot pegs. I tried to put the spring from the front peg here, so I pulled them apart and I got little springs to reset on them. To reset on them like that, they just spring back. These ones you don't, they just lock up. That's not too much of an issue. But yeah, at the front here where the front pegs go, these are also my engine mounts. There's an engine mount plate there, and this the threading doesn't go all the way down, and the bolt is a dome bolt, so I'm going to have to probably cut them off and thread them up. It's a bit annoying, that one's a bit loose, so gotta figure something out with that, maybe re-weld it or something. But yeah, I've got to sort that out because I don't want to leave the engine flapping about. The rear's all off. I tried putting the front fender on there to see if it would fit, but it's pulled off there, but it's a little bit too narrow, unfortunately. I think I can get away with buying another fender and just slapping that on here to just cover it up. But that doesn't work, so I'm going to have to look for an alternative for my rear hugger. So this is where I'm up to at the moment. I'm working with CAD, Cardboard Assisted Design. Just working on a rough template for the seat pan. Just got that taped under there. Just a little bit of a frame that I'm going to fabricate and then put this seat pan on there. I'm still shaping it at the moment, just getting all my screws down, as you can see there. Try and follow the frame line along here, but that needs a bit more shaping. It doesn't quite look right before I start cutting up the cardboard. And I'm thinking of putting a bit of a curved tail on the back there, shaping that again so it's not going to be a big square on the back. But yeah, I'm just thinking whether or not I should actually go for, at the moment the seat length is 18 inches. That's quite a long seat, especially for one person. But just thinking whether or not that's too long, or if I should just kind of end it here. The brackets going more of an angle. There's actually mounting points at the back here from the old seat, so I can mount them up from there, maybe. Yeah, and whether or not I should actually go for the cafe racer style seat cowl on here, maybe keep it long and just have kind of a cowl on there. But yeah, it's just a quick mock-up, just trying to think of what I need to do. I've got the foam here that I'm going to be using for my seat. It's quite a thick foam, as you can see, and it's quite soft and squashy, and it returns the shape quite well, so I'm hoping it's going to do quite well. I have used some of it before, as you can see. It used to be a really big piece, and I made a case for my keyboard out of it. So yeah, this is the inside bit. The keyboard would have actually come out around here. So I've used the end off there, and I've cut the end. It just makes the border. But yeah, this is the bit I'm going to be using. Just seeing how it fits on there. It goes quite well with the seat. Kind of runs in nicely there. So that's a good height there. So when I get the pan fitted and I find out how big I actually want the seat, when I get that all cut out and fitted, yeah,